So we have a concept called as cascading filter. So probably I'll give you a better understanding of this. So let's say I have region wise, state wise sales information. Okay. So let me off the animation for this. So now I'll go for the filter on top of region and also for state. Okay. Let's understand. So probably I will, as I said, right, we'll go through this again. But so this cascading filter, the concept of cascading filter is, let's say now we are aware of this quick filter. So, and we are using this data source filter. Don't worry about category. Now, let's say whenever I'm going to unselect, or let's use single selection, single value drop down or single selection. So when you select central, we are able to see only central data, correct, in the report. Understand, right? This is region wise, particular state wise sales. When you select east, we can able to see east, south, and west. When you select all, obviously we'll get all the records. But when you select a single, or even I will, what I can do is like you can go back to customize and you can unselect all, right? To display only, to go for only single selection. You don't want to go for all option. So click on drop down, remember this, customize, show all value, remove this, unselect. So my question is, when you go back to presentation mode, let's look into the data. So the report displays fine. I mean to say the report the results are good based on the region, right? Based on the selection, you are able to see those results. Correct. Now I want to select some set of states. Okay, like we do have a few states, we don't have any issues. But in that states, I want to filter out some part of data. Understand, right? Let's say in central, I want to filter out some part of data. Now I can choose from here, right? I can unselect some part of data from here, correct? But what is the issue we are seeing? When we select central, we are able to see proper data in the report, but in the filter, in the state filter, I can see all the states. Clear all?
Yeah.
It is bit tough, right? So when you select central, now let's say I'm going to unselect Alabama, Arizona, right? So California. So these are not going to impact, right? So nothing impacting the sheet because those states are not related to central.
Mm.
But why we are displaying all this like unwanted states in the filter, correct?
Mm.
You got my point, right? Let's say when you select E,
Yeah.
it wants to see only these states in the filter, in the state filter. But if you're
Mm.
going to display all the states, it is very difficult to select the proper states. So what we have to do is like we have to search. Let's say I want to go for Florida. So I'm not sure, okay, it is not related to east. Then it's a waste of time, correct?
Mm.
So that concept is called as cascading filter, right? So cascading. So cascading filter is nothing but so we can it's like a parent and child, but we do have an option called as to show only related information or relevant. to show only relevant data. So this is a very simple option to apply cascading filter. Okay. So click on this drop down. You can see all values in the database, correct, here by default. But let's say if you want to go for only relevant values, now you can see we are getting only those states related to central. Now when you select east, we can see the states related to east. When you select south, these are south related states. This helps. From here we can unselect some part of data, so that will work, correct?
Yeah.
So the simple option is like we can go for only relevant values. So one of the flexibility we do have is, even in cases where if you want to display all the values, you have an option called as customize. Let me do this, sorry. We have an option called as customize, show more or fewer button. Okay, this button, I'm going to select this particular button, you can see. So
Do
customize,
you have? Mm-hmm.
show more or fewer button. So what's happening here is you can see some 3 lines, right? Now you got a shortcut to select only relevant values or all values in the database. So if you want to display all the values, if you want to see whatever the available states, so click on this drop down, you can select all values. But if you want to go for only relevant values, you can select only relevant values. Understand, right?
Yeah.
Clear all? Anyhow, I'll
Mm.
explain one more time on Monday. Okay, so don't worry. So this is what only relevant values, like I mean to say kind of a parent and child relationship. Let's say I'll explain one more example. So probably like you have this date, you have this order date, right? When you use order date, this will give you, you have a drill down functionality, correct? With this,
Mm.
let's say I'm going to use the same information, like, and you can use as a filter, like show filter, drop down show filter. And even I can select month, show filter. I'll put in an order, something like a parent and child. So now let me use a drop down, single value drop down to select a particular year. So now when you select a particular year, how many quarters we do have? 4 quarters, right? Understand? So now let's say if I am going to give you an option to go for only single selection, Q1 or Q2 or Q3 or Q4. So when you select a particular quarter, now what are all the months we need to display here?
4 months.
Now here you can see Q1, 3 months, right? Jan, February, March. Correct?
That's very, yeah. Mm.
3 months. For each quarter, we have 3 months. But we are able to see all the months. So that's what the scenario, like basically, if you don't want to showcase unwanted data in the filter itself, yes, we can see proper data in the report. But if you don't want to showcase unwanted data in the filter itself, so we have to go for the relevant values. So now you can click on this drop down. Instead of going for only relevant values straight away, I am showing this option again, show more or fewer button, so that when you click on this drop down, you have this flexibility to select all values, or if you want to go for only relevant values.
Mm.
Understand, right?
Yes.
So remember, that means you can either first customize them and then you choose the relevant value, or you can also go direct to relevant value. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. Yes. You can go for only relevant values. You don't want to provide any button, right? So it's not important, the button, whatever we are displaying, this one. So I can unselect. Better you can go for only relevant values straight away. But what I mean to say is there are cases where sometimes if you want to see all the values, right? If you want
Mm,
to see all the values, then you have this flexibility to give the option for the even for the users as well to to show to display all values in the database or
mm,
only relevant values.
okay.
So when you customize, you only have and you click show more. Um,
Or
when you
fewer.
customize that and then customize and then say show more or fewer buttons, it only gives you that two options to view everything or to show relevant, right? So you
Perfect.
only get those two options.
Yes. But this is
Oh,
the button I'm clicking, not the drop.
right. Yeah, yeah. The three bars
Yes.
lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the three
Okay.
lines. This is a
Okay.
shortcut to go for only relevant values, or there are cases where for the users, right, we don't have this drop down to change the type of a filter. Okay. That's the reason, you understand, right? When you go back to presentation mode, for users, we don't give any edit option. They
Mm.
don't have an option to edit or modify. Okay. Because if
What's the
they modify the
mm.
same report, then the other users can see the modified one, right? So we don't want to provide that functionality. So in that case, if they wants to see only relevant or all values, we are going to provide this particular functionality to display all the values or to go for only relevant values.
These are for the end users?
Yes, this is for end users.
Okay. Mm.
Clear all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last concept is context filter, which it will take for sure some longer time to understand. But I'll just give you a simple introduction to context filter. And as I said, we'll discuss in detail in the next class. So what actually context is? Uh, yeah, let me give you a scenario here. Category wise, subcategory wise, some sales. So just a quick thing, okay? So the context filter is nothing but, so basically you have this drop down to apply global filter, right? Apply to worksheets all using this data source and select a worksheets. These are the options to go for a global filter. But
Mm.
for context, we have the same drop down. So you can see add to context. Now,
Do that again.
whenever you're going, yeah. So,
Just a second. Okay, do that again, please.
so basically the dimension shows in a blue color, right?
Mm.
When you apply filter on top of sales, this will give you the differentiation like dimensions in blue color, measures in green color. But whenever you're going to apply context filter, when you apply context filter, see, you can simply have an option called as add to context. That's it. Context filter shows in a gray color. Okay, remember that. So when you apply context filter, this will give you in a gray color. Add to context. But how this will impact, how it will work is I'm going to showcase in the next class. So probably because it will take it, we have multiple points to work on it. But a quick thing is context filter shows in a gray color, and let's say, and it displays first in the filter shelf. Let's say if the category filter is not the context, Now you can see subcategory list top, not category, correct? So in between these two, subcategory is on top, not the category. So initially the category list is on top. Let me change. Now the category is first. The second filter is subcategory. But whenever you are going to apply context filter, the context filter list every time top in the filter shelf. Understand, right? Got it? So, but I'll explain in detail in the next class on Monday. Okay. Clear all?
Yes.
Okay, so now if I may ask, so if you change the text, is it text category? Where does it belong? Does it belong to a dimension or a measure since it has changed?
Dimension. It's a dimension. You can see it's a text value.
A text value, okay. So what does a gray reflect now?
Yeah, there is in detail concept. Like I mean to say, we can see the change in the results. I'll showcase that in the next class. It will take longer time to understand the context filter. That's what I want to say.
Okay, fine.
But just a quick thing, like when we apply context filter, this will showcase in a gray color in the filter shelf. It's not mandatory to go for context filter every time. There are very certain cases where we'll prefer context. Okay. So these are the filters we discussed importantly, like quick filter, data source filter, filters on dimensions, measures, and date. We have global filter, cascading, and context. So on Monday, we'll complete context filter and we'll start a new concept called as hierarchies, and we'll plan accordingly.
Okay.